everybody, Intensity Broadcasting. My name is Josh Hall. This is the SCSRA Intensity Apparel Truck Series here from The Rock. That's right, we're here at Rockingham Speedway for the Cheeseburger Motorsports Ham 125. And it's throwback weekend as well, so it's or throwback week as well, so we might see a couple drivers with some throwback paint jobs out there tonight as we get ready to do battle here at Rockingham. This is a very unique track, very uniquely shaped D-shaped track, and it's going to be an interesting race. A very, very unique entry angle that these drivers have to get into the corner. A lot of bumps. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's take a look at our points coming into tonight. I want to verify that I've got the right points up here. Yep, that is the correct points. Devin Butchino up at the lead. Eddie Morris sits back in second. Riley Gomes, Ryan Gomes, third and fourth. David Wright back in fifth. David Hartney, Joe Wright, Matt Allen, Trey Spears, and Sharon Hill, your top 10. Charles Ballance, Tim Likens, your top 12. You see the drivers in pink. Those are the drivers that are locked in to the playoffs. As I grabbed the wrong button, hit the wrong button there on my screen. I apologize for that. Let's take a look at our playoff picture. Let's fit that to the screen correctly. You see those are the drivers who are currently locked in to the top 12. Devin Butchino, Eddie Morris, Dave Wright, and Sharon Hill all with wins. See, currently up at the top of the leaderboard is Eddie Morris and his throwback machine right there. See who else is out there with a throwback here. We've got Brett Merle in that Frosted Flakes machine. And how about this? Return of Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence to the race here tonight, running that Cheeseburger Motorsports machine. See if there's anybody else out there I can see in a throwback machine here tonight. See Devin Butchino. Can't quite see his machine as he's sitting on pit road. And Eddie Morris's paint job there reminds me a lot of Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the Mountain Dew machine. I think that they're the AMPA machine, so I think that is what we have right there. As we're about to get qualifying underway here from Rockingham. See our first driver. Actually, it doesn't look like any drivers are making their way out onto the racetrack just yet. I think they're waiting for the clouds, and you can see the cloud cover right now as we'll take a look at the weather for tonight. Mostly cloudy is the cloud cover. 61 degrees Fahrenheit. Track temperature, though, still a steamy 110 degrees as we see Ryan Likens out on the racetrack. Oh, and he catches the inside wall. Here's Michael Provolt coming down. Just took the green flag on his qualifying attempt. And you see the bumps that these drivers are going to have to deal with. Sharon Hill has currently gone up to the top of the leaderboard. Now Brett Merle up to the top of the leaderboard. And David Wright just went P3. Let's see David Hartney out there in his normal paint job here tonight. Coming down the backstretch. Into turns 3 and 4, coming to take the white flag on his qualifying attempt. Sharon Hill currently at the top of the leaderboard. Brett Merle currently P2. As Hartney makes his way. Oh, catches the outside wall hard, then catches the inside wall hard. That's going to disallow his time. We see Ryan Likens coming down across the stripe. And Likens is going to stay currently in the 7th position. There's Brian Merle Jr. in the McKinleyville Barbershop machine. Riley Gomes coming down the backstretch and into turn number 3. Down across the stripe. And Riley Gomes currently into the 4th position. There's Joseph Wright, just took the green flag on his qualifying attempt. Down into turn number 3, running the high lane through turns 3 and 4. And down across the stripe. Joe Wright's first lap is going to put him up into the 13th position. Brian Merle Jr. just went P8. And Matt Allen just jumped up into the 8th position on his second lap. Chuck Balance up into the 7th spot on his first lap. Here comes Joe Wright across the stripe, and Wright is going to move up into the 11th position. Here's Chuck Balance off of turn number 4, coming to the stripe. Balance is going to move up into P5 with just a handful of cars left to qualify. Looks like Tim Likens, Devin Butchino, Sylvain Seguin, Kevin Graham, and Zachary Cox all left to qualify. See, Zachary Cox looks like he's sitting down on the end of pit road. Actually, I take that back. No, he is not. So we've got a few minutes left here in qualifying as we are waiting for our final drivers to make their way on the racetrack. And here comes one of them. The first driver to make their way out in this group is going to be Tim Likens in the 14. Take the green flag on his first of two laps here. Down to the stripe. Likens' first lap is going to put him up into the 12th position. Likens also running that high lane through turns 3 and 4 down to the stripe. And Tim Likens is going to jump up into, so he's going to stay right there in that 12th spot as we see Devin Butchino out on the racetrack. Trying to figure out Butch's throwback here. I think it's reminiscent of the Dale Jr. National Guard machine. Trying to put my finger on it as he comes off of turn number 4 and down across the stripe. His first lap is going to be good enough for the 7th position. Through turns 3 and 4. Down to the stripe. And Devin Butchino is going to take over the pole position here. You see Zachary Cox coming off of turn number 4. Across the stripe, and Zach's going to shut off there as Kevin Graham jumps up into the 9th position. As Graham comes down across the stripe on his second lap. That's going to move him up into the 5th position. Just one driver left to qualify. That's going to be the 66 of Sylvain Seguin, who looks like he's not even out on the pit road yet. So we'll see if he does indeed make his way down on the pit road. As we get set to see if anybody else joins the server here. It looks like we're going to have about 20 trucks taking on the Rock here tonight. Of course, I want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or over on Twitch. Do appreciate you joining us here tonight. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. I'm sorry, not Twitch, over on Kick. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Hit the little notification bell so you know anytime we go live here on Intensity Broadcasting. Again, this is the SCSRA Intensity Apparel Truck Series here for the Ham 125, sponsored by Cheeseburger Motorsports. As looks like we have about a minute and a half left before we get racing here tonight. Don't forget, tomorrow night, the SCSRA Next Gen Series will also be taking on Rockingham Speedway in their throwback event. It's going to be a great one. That's going to be over on the SCSRA channel. As we get already here, just about a minute left before we get racing underway. So about 45 more seconds, and does only take about 24 seconds to get around the racetrack here. So Sylvain could get out there and run one lap, but it doesn't look like he is indeed going to do that. So that's going to pretty much do it for qualifying here tonight. Taking a look at the rest of the schedule for the regular season. After tonight, next week, we move to New Hampshire Motor Speedway and then Texas Motor Speedway to round out the regular season. Then we'll move on to the round of 12, which will be Darlington and Talladega. A couple super speedways there, the original super speedway and the biggest super speedway that NASCAR runs. Then we'll move on to the round of 8, Bristol and Kansas, to our championship 4 at Las Vegas. So it's going to be an exciting rest of the season with just a handful of races to go. As let's take a look at our starting grid here tonight. And starting on the pole will be the 68 of Devin Buchno. Sharn Hill will roll off from P2. Brett Merle and Eddie Morris in row number 2, with Kevin Graham and Riley Gomes back in row number 3. Row 4 will find Chuck Balance and Ryan Gomes, with Michael Provolt and David Wright back in row number 5. Matt Allen in the 127, he'll roll off from 11th, with Brian Merle Jr. in the McKinleyville Barbershop Machine rolling off 12th. 13th will be Joseph Wright, with Tim Likens in the 14 rolling off 14th. David Hartney back in 15th, with Trey Spears rolling off from the 16th position. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, our race sponsor, he'll roll off from 17th, with Ryan Likens from 18th. And rounding out the field tonight will be Zachary Cox and Sylvain Seguin. As the field is lining up here on the front stretch. And we get ready for pace lap or 2 before we go green flag racing. I see you 6 watching out there, I believe. 5 on Facebook and 1 over on YouTube. I don't know if anybody's watching from Kick. If you are, drop a like in the or drop a comment here in the chat so we know you're watching. Unfortunately, we can't see those drivers or those watchers there. Not sure if these drivers are running 1 pace lap or 2, so we'll see if the pace truck drops down on the pit road here. looks like we're going to go one more lap here. Looks like the pace truck. Nope, pace truck dips off. I take that back. So here we go. Devin Butchno takes the high lane here. He's going to bring it down to the starting zone. Green flag is in the air, and we are racing here at Rockingham as the field dives down into turn 1 for the first time. And Riley Gomes dives down in front of Brett Merle there as they come off of turn number 2. And a great drag race as Sharon Hill trying to take advantage of that inside lane on Devin Butchno. Butchno running that high lane. I'm sorry, that's Eddie Morris. I'm sorry, those two trucks look so similar here as they come across the stripe. And Butch running the Morris Customs on the hood. Eddie running the Dev Sports Cards on his hood. Kind of threw me for a loop here as now Sharon Hill tries to make a move to the outside. And we've got one around. We got a big one here in the back. We see David Hartney going around. Kevin Graham is around. I believe I saw Sylvan involved in this one as well. That's going to bring up our first Wreckage Rewind of the night. So we take a look to see what brought this one out. It looked like it started way ahead of David Hartney here. You see Chuck Balance got into the back of Kevin Graham. Graham got caught up by Trey Spears there. Looks like Matt Allen is going to catch just a little piece of it. See Joe Wright sneaking through on the low side. And it looks like David Hartney might have got hit by Cheeseburger trying to avoid it. We'll take a look to see what happened to Hartney here as he was trying to avoid it and check up for the... Oh, no. Hartney just had too much rear brake locked into it and got spun around. And Cheeseburger did a great job avoiding that one. Let's take a look here from Cheesy B's roof cam. So, we got to get laps up there, not time. So here we go. Lights on the pace truck are off. Butchno choosing the inside lane this time. Saw what happened last time. Sharon Hill was able to get a good jump there. Eddie Morris down on the low side with Riley Gomes up on the high side. So, here we go. We're going to re-rack, restack, get ready to refire. As Devin Butchno leads them back down to the restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. We are back racing, and a great jump for the Neon Boys as both Devin and Eddie were able to get by Sharon Hill. A little further back, we almost had some three-wide racing for a moment. We see David Wright down to the inside of Brian Merle Jr. Right behind Joe Wright has Tim Likens to the inside, and Trey Spears trying to follow through as well, as it looks like Ryan Likens coming down on the pit road possibly. I don't know if he has a drive-through penalty or something happened there, but he is making his way down on the pit road. Doesn't look like he made any contact with anybody, but maybe he's coming down. See if he comes to his pit stall here. Yep, he's going to stop right there in his pit stall. He's going to lose a lap here as teammates go side by side down the front stretch across the stripe. Eddie Morris leads that lap as they come down through turns 1 and 2. Eddie ripping that high lane as Devin Butchino starting to fade back a little bit as Sharon Hill now trying to make a move up on that high side. And Devin struggling a little bit, stuck on that low lane, and he's going backwards in a hurry. Sharon Hill's gone by, Brett Merle's gone by, and here comes Riley Gomes trying to get around Devin Butchino as well. So a few drivers getting around the 68 of Butchino as they come down off of turn number 2. Eddie Morris committed to that high side through turns 3 and 4. That's working for him right now as Ryan Likens does indeed leave pit road, but he is going to be scored 4 laps down. As Riley Gomes is trying to run down Devin Butchino. A little further back, we've got a little battle heating up back here between Matt Allen and Zachary Cox, and David Hartney in this mix here as well. Ooh, Hartney catches the wall a little bit, trying to run that high line the best he can. And issues for Brian Merle Jr. Losing him and Joe Wright losing a bunch of spots here down the front stretch. See if we can see something happen between those two. Oh yeah, for sure. Look at that. We got let's go to Junior here and see what exactly just transpired. Looks like we see Junior trying to make a move down to the inside of the 55. Got a little loose. Joe Wright turned him around, and they were able to save it. So a great save for those two, but losing a ton of time on the racetrack. There's Michael Provolt taking a look down to the inside of Trey Spears. As they go side by side across the stripe to complete lap number 14. Just saw another throwback paint job out there tonight. It's a 55 of Ryan Gomes in that Jurassic Park Home Depot machine. Great looking paint job on that 55. Not the Cat 55 tonight. More, I thought about going 3 wide for a second there. That was David Wright, Tim Likens, and Michael Provolt as they come off of turn number 2. Oh, big wreck in the back. Looks like Matt Allen into the wall. Zachary Cox hard into the wall as well. That's going to bring up our second wreckage rewind of the night. And I don't know why that's not looping there. Oh, there it goes. See if we can see exactly what happened. Looks like Matt Allen may have gotten up into the wall right in front of Joe Wright and Zachary Cox. And just catches the wall a little bit. Catches the wall again, comes down the track, almost goes up and over on its side. Zachary Cox just nowhere to go, and they both make pretty hard contact with each other. That brings up our second caution of the night. And I'm going to see if I can get ourselves a different wreckage rewind here tonight. That'll be perfect. So Zachary Cox looks like he's going to make his way down onto pit road, get some of that damage fixed up. Brian Merle Jr. also getting his way down on the pit road. As Eddie Morris continues to lead over Sharn Hill. On the off chance that she does catch the race, I do want to wish my grandmother a very happy birthday. Happy birthday, Meme. Love you, thinking of you. And yeah, I know you pop on these races from time to time, so figured I'd give you a shout out here while I have the chance. So we are coming to lap number 19. Eddie Morris is your leader. Sharn Hill in second. Brett Merle back in third. Devin Butchino back and forth, and then Riley Gomes round out your top 5. Lights are off on the pace truck. Eddie Morris choosing the high side here, putting Sharn Hill down on the low side. Brett Merle and Devin Butchino, row number 2. Riley Gomes and Ryan Gomes back in row number 3. Then Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence and Trey Spears back in row 4. And Mike Provault and Tim Likens round out your top 5, or top 10. Here we go, pace truck getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. Eddie Morris is going to lead them back down to the restart zone. Green flag is in the air. We are back racing. And again, Eddie Morris and Devin Butchino catch Sharn Hill sleeping, as even Brett Merle got into the back of the 05 as they came into turn number 1. And yellow flag is back in the air. Looks like Trey Spears has turned it around. And that's going to bring out another Wreckage Rewind here tonight. So we see what happened to Trey Spears. See Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence down underneath Trey Spears as they go down into turn number 3. And oh, Trey looks like he locked up the rears a little bit, got into the back of Ryan Gomes, caught Cheeseburger in the door, came back up the track into Michael Provault. That spun him hard into the outside wall. Provault catches David Hartney. Hartney involved in another one here tonight. Let's rewind this one back and take another look at this one. Hartney, hard contact makes with Dave Wright as well. So as we stay out, everybody, some drivers in the rear coming down on the pit road. But most drivers staying out. Our top 9 have not been down pit road yet. As we work our third caution, we are just halfway through the stage. Stage tonight is at lap 40. As they come down the backstretch, it looks like teammates are going to be lined up on the front row. So let's see who's got some throwback paint jobs. We saw Eddie Morris has a throwback here. Devin Butchino does as well. Riley Gomes, that's his normal paint job, but it is a throwback in a bit with that channel lock machine. We know the Jurassic Park paint job, Home Depot paint job here. That is a throwback for sure. Doesn't look like any other drivers have throwbacks here tonight, so see Trey Spears dropping to the back, taking the EOL for bringing out that caution. So Eddie Morris going to take the high lane yet again. Pace car getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn back down on the pit road. Green flags back in the air again and again. Sharn Hill caught sleeping on the restart. He's going to lose another position to Brett Merle as they go down into turn number 1. Kevin Graham was trying to get around Joseph Wright. Meanwhile, in front, we see Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence looking down underneath Tim Likens. And Cheesy's going to take over that 7th position. Now Likens firing back on that high side, trying to get back around Cheesy B. Here comes Joe Wright trying to get into the mix here as well, as he's going to look to the high side of Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger able to tuck back in line and stay out in front of Joe Wright as they come down off of turn number 4. Now Tim Likens taking a look down underneath Ryan Gomes, trying to take over the 6th spot. Oh, contact! Tim Likens hard into the inside wall. Kept it down below the yellow line and kept it rolling as it came back up on the yellow line, and he stays, and we stay green. Up at the front, Devin Butchino trying to dive down under his teammate, trying to take the lead back away. Right behind, you see Brett Merle racing hard with Sharn Hill as we have another caution here on the racetrack, and this time it's for the 55 of Ryan Gomes, and that's going to bring up another wreckage rewind, so we see what happened to the 55 machine. So looks like some 3-wide, yeah, 3-wide racing. David Hartney up on the high side, Joe Wright down on the low side. Then Wright pushes up the track into the 55, who comes up in front of Chuck Balance. Balance just nowhere to go, gets into the back of Ryan Gomes, excuse me. He gets turned around right here in the back of the field. And it doesn't look like anybody else was involved in that one, just Joe Wright and the 55. So fortunately, just those two. And it looks like my timing scoring decided it wanted to stop working. give me a moment while I get that back up and running. We're doing that. I'm going to check to see if it's a server-based issue here. Okay, so it looks like we are getting somewheres here in this timing score. And again, I apologize as we try to get this timing scoring back on the screen. Again, bear with me just a moment as we try to get this squared away on our end over here. We're going to bear with it for a moment as we wait for the timing to come back up. Apparently I'm not the only one having issues right now, so it looks like it is an issue with the timing and scoring program, so we're going to bear with it as best we can for the next few laps while the server gets back working. Pace truck taking that hard left-hand turn as we're still trying to get our timing and scoring back working. Green flag is in the air. We are back to racing here at Rockingham. Side-by-side battle for the lead between Devin Butchino and Eddie Morris as they come off of turn number 4 and down across the stripe. They are door to door coming down across the stripe. Brett Merle now moves himself up into that third position as him and Sharn Hill continue battle, and our teammates here door to door into turn number 4. We are on fair little lap we're on here, coming to lap 34, so just a handful of laps before the stage break here. Eddie Morris fighting back again on that high side. He's going to take the lead away from Devin Butchino. Now Brett Merle right there on the back bumper. As Brett gets a little tight off the corner, he has to check up. That's going to allow Sharn Hill to make a move down underneath him down into turn number 3. Side by side for third place behind our leaders. Sharn Hill trying to get that position away on the low side. Merle continues to battle up on that high side, able to hold on to that spot for now. Behind we see the battle heating up as well. Michael Cheeseburger and Riley Gomes, teammates from Trackside Motorsports, doing battle. We're about 2 laps away from the stage end. One lap to go in the stage as Eddie Morris is trying to hold on to the stage win from Devin Buccino. To come down across the stripe to complete lap 40, and there's the caution flag for the stage, and your winner here will be Eddie Morris. So while the field gets lined up and all set with pit stops, I'm going to refresh the server here and see if we can get the time of scoring back. In the meantime, we're going to put on our technical difficulty screen, and I apologize for the technical difficulties at the moment. All right, we are back, and we have timing and scoring back up on the screen. And let's get a quick word in with our stage winner here. Hey, Eddie, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, brother. How's it going?
Sorry for the late interview. We had some technical difficulties on our end. My timing and scoring went away for a moment. But, hey, you got the stage win. Really racy out there. Looks like that top lane's been working really well for you. Talks about the track, this unique track that you're out there on here tonight.
It's definitely bumpy. I like it. Not my favorite track. Definitely pretty racy. There's more than one groove, obviously. Yeah, man. We cooking.
Well, you and Devin been doing a good job of keeping the field at bay behind you. I see the lights on the pace truck are off, so we're going to let you get back to work up there. Again, congratulations on the stage win, and good luck here in the final stage.
Thanks, brother.
Have a great night.
You too, man.
So Zachary Cox stays out. He's going to choose the high lane here on the restart. Eddie Morris down on the low side. Row 2 will be Devin Butchino and Brett Merle. Sharon Hill and Cheeseburger back in row 3. Riley Gomes, Joseph Wright back in row 4. And then Brian Merle Jr. and Sylvain Seguin back in row number 5 as the field makes their way through turns 3 and 4. Pace truck getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn down onto pit road. As the green flag flies yet again, Zachary Cox with a great jump going down into turn number 1. Eddie Morris, though, on those fresher tires, should be able to make easy work of the 51 machine as they come off of turn 2, down the backstretch and into turn number 3 for the first time on the stage. Cold tires, though, for a lot of these drivers. It's one advantage Zachary Cox does have right now is he's got a little bit warmer tires than the rest of the field. So even though they're a little worn out, they've cooled down a little bit, but they'll be able to get back up the temperature, and he should be able to stay with these boys for at least a few laps. A little further back, Sharon Hill and Brett Merle are battling at it. Now Merle's going to have to back off because of Zach Cox there on those older tires. It's going to allow Sharon Hill to get the run off of turn number 4 to clear Brett Merle. Now he's going to set his sights on Zach Cox. Cox gets up into the wall just a little bit. That's going to allow Sharon Hill and Brett Merle by. Here comes Joe Wright down to the inside. And Cheeseburger looking down to the inside as well. Side by side right behind between Brian Merle Jr. and Riley Gomes. While up front, Eddie Morris pulling away from second place, Sharon Hill and Devin Butchno. Look at the checkup there for Hill as he came off the corner tight. He had to back out of it, and that allowed Butchno and Brett Merle to run right up onto the back of that 05 machine. They come down across the stripe to complete lap number 50. Trey Spears and David Wright battling side by side. Now Spears around the 84 and up into the 10th position. Brian Merle Jr. trying to get around Cox. He's going to look down to the inside. Unfortunately, Cox going backwards right now on those old tires as Riley Gomes takes a look to the inside. Further back, Michael Provost taking a look down underneath Trey Spears, trying to take over that 10th spot. And still, Cox trying to work that high lane on those old tires, just not working out in his favor right now as Provost tries to make a move underneath the 51 of Cox. Now Cox trying to look down to the inside of Trey Spears. With those new tires working well for Trey, and he just pulls away from Zachary Cox as he gets loose off of turn number 4 and loses a few more spots. So staying out was not the best play for Zachary Cox as he's just falling backwards through the field. Meanwhile, a little battle starting up here between Brian Merle Jr. and Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. Junior looking down to the inside. Cheesy checks up there off of turn number 2. And Junior going to take over the 6th spot around Cheeseburger. We were trying to cross him over though here off of turn number 4, and then we saw just behind Trey Spears was really loose off of turn number 4. He was able to gather it up. Now Michael Provolt trying to make a move to the outside. Brett Merle has a mirror full of Devin Butchino as they go down into turn number 3 as we take a look off the back bumper of Brett Merle, excuse me. And this is a great view. Just really shows you how bumpy this track really is. As Dev tries to make a move down to the inside. As they come off of turn number 2. Wiggle out of both those drivers there. As they battle door to door into turn number 3. Devin holding on to that 3rd spot. You see these 4 drivers under a blanket now making their way into turn number 3. Provolt, almost gets into the back of Cheeseburger as they go down into turn number 1. Provolt has to back out of it. He's going to fall out of this one as David right now taking a look down to the inside of Cheeseburger. Trey Spears looking up to the outside of Brian Merle Jr. moves Spears up into the 7th position. Jr. tries to get a run down on the low side. Joe Wright trying to run down Riley Gomes for the 5th position. Meanwhile, right behind, we see this battle continuing between Ryan Merle Jr. and Trey Spear for the 7th position. Gomes now up into the 4th position around Brett Merle. Merle starting to fall back a little bit. Looks like he's starting to get a little bit tight right now. Here comes Joe Wright looking down underneath Brett Merle with a mirror full of Trey Spears. Trey gets into the back of Joe Wright just a little bit. And then Brian Merle Jr. there as well as we see smoke there down on the bottom. It looks like Ryan Likens coming down on the pit road. Smoke the tires trying to get down there. And now Allen way down on the inside of the track letting the leaders by. Trey Spears now trying to work around the 11. Brett still right there on the back bumper of Trey Spears. So Spears now up into the 5th position. A little further back, David Wright looking down underneath Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. Ooh, almost some contact as Wright and Cheesy got loose there into the corner. Almost some contact. Ryan Gomes going to take advantage of that situation. He's going to look down to the inside of Cheeseburger Lawrence. Teammates going at it side by side. Meanwhile, back up front, Eddie Morris right there. That's Sharn Hill right there on the back bumper. Sharn Hill's going to take a look down to the inside. Morris holding off on the high side currently as they're coming up on the lap truck of Tim Likens. So Eddie Morris able to hold off the charge that Sharn Hill just put to him. As Eddie looks down to the inside of Tim Likens. Zachary Cox now makes his way down on the pit road for his service and fuel. And Sharn Hill right back on the back bumper of Eddie Morris. Kevin Graham coming down on the pit road. He's getting service done on his machine. Michael Cheeseborough Lawrence makes his way down on the pit road. Sharn Hill making another run at Eddie Morris off of turn number 2. Big wiggle on the 8 of Morris down into turn number 3. And Sharn Hill's going to take that position away as Eddie Morris dives down onto pit road. Now Sharn Hill making his way on the pit road, and as the yellow comes out, Sharn's going to stay out on the racetrack. It looks like it was for the 214 of Ryan Likens going around in on the backstretch. And that's going to bring up another wreckage rewind. So we take a look to see what happened to Ryan Likens here. Ooh, tough break for Likens as they were coming off of turn number 2. Brett Merle washes up the track, catches the outside wall, just like we saw Matt Allen do earlier, comes down into the 214, and that sends the 214 around. Able to keep it off the wall and going in the right direction, but that does bring out the caution, and it's going to be a tough break for a few drivers. Sharn Hill down on pit road, going to be the first driver to lead him down there. He's got Devin Butchno in tow, and Trey Spears way back as we see the drivers coming down on the pit road. Here's going to be the race off of pit road. Here comes the race off pit road. Devin Butchno with that number 1 spot gets off of pit road first. Sharn Hill second. Here's Riley Gomes, Brian Merle Jr., Joe Wright, Brett Merle, Trey Spears, Michael Provolt, and Ryan Gomes, Dave Wright, Sylvain Seguin, all off of pit road as your leader is going to be the 14 of Tim Likens. Now Likens making his way down on the pit road. That's going to give the lead of the race to Devin Butchno. You see a bunch of trucks in front. Going to get the wave around. Eddie Morris. See who else is in front of Zachary Cox there as well. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, all looking to get the wave around here. So as we come across stripe this time, we have 50 laps to go here in the event. As the lights on the pace truck are off, the wave around drivers go. Devin Butchino is going to choose the high lane. So here we go. Devin Butchino choosing the high lane. Sharn Hill down on the bottom. Riley Gomes and Brian Merle Jr. back in row number 2. Joe Wright, Brett Merle, row number 3. Pace truck is off to the restart zone. Green flag's back in the air, and again, Sharn Hill just cannot get going. And he loses a couple positions here as Brian Merle Jr. moves up and around. Brett Merle up into third, and Sharn falls from second all the way back to fourth. David Wright and Ryan Gomes side by side. This is a battle for the 5th position. Gomes on the high side as the yellow is out yet again, and it looks like not sure who this one is. I thought I saw Joseph Wright. Yeah, it looks like Joe Wright might have looped it around here. Let's take a look at the wreckage rewind. Going down into turn number 1, Chuck Balance. Ooh, got into the corner a little hot. Didn't think Joe was going to check up that much. Turned Joe around. And that's what brought up the caution. Doesn't look like too much damage to either driver. So they'll be able to continue on without needing to get repaired. So now Brian Merle Jr. is going to restart next to Devin Butchino. Take a quick rundown through the field. Devin Butchino is your leader. Brian Merle Jr. sits back in second. Brett Merle is going to restart back in the 3rd position. Sharn Hill from 4th, and David Wright back in the 5th spot. Ryan Gomes will be restarting 6th. Trey Spears back in 7th. Michael Provolt from the 8th position, and Riley Gomes back in 9th. Eddie Morris Coming back around, going to come up into 10th. Joseph Wright, after spinning, he'll be back in 11th. Kevin Graham in 12th. Tim Likens just coming off pit road. He'll be in 13th. Sorry, Sylvan Seguin in 13th. He is currently on pit road. Tim Likens is going to be 14th. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence is back in 15th. And I believe Cheesy is our first driver one lap down. Yes, he is one lap down. Zachary Cox, Matt Allen, Chuck Balance, and Ryan Likens all, well, I'm sorry, Chuck Balance one lap down, and then Ryan Likens currently being scored 6 laps down. So here we go. Lights on. The pace truck are off. Devin Butchino to the inside. Brian Merle Jr. to the outside. So here we go. Pace truck getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. Green flag is in the air. Again, great jump for Butchino. This time Sharnhill able to get a decent jump this time on that high side, but Brett Merle able to get around his brother and up into the second position. Great battles for position back here as Eddie Morris trying to get back up to the front after getting caught down. They're getting caught on pit road. Devin Butchino loses the lead to Brett Merlin. Butch has showed tonight that he just does not have short run speed. As he's continuing to fall backwards. Back into the 4th position. Now Brett Merle out in front over his brother Brian Merle Jr. and Sharnhill continues to run in that 3rd spot. See Eddie Morris trying to work down to the inside of Michael Provel. Provel's got a little bit of damage to the left side of his truck as the field comes off of turn number 4 and down across the stripe. We have just 38 laps to go. Trey Spears has driven himself up into the 4th position. He's just gotten around Devin Butchino for that spot. As now Brian Merrill Jr. trying to hold off the 05 of Sharnhill as they come off of turn number 4. Eddie Moore stuck back in dirty air, and this is not where he really wants to be. His truck's probably not handling as well as it was when he was out in front. See him ripping that high side up in the bumps off of turn number 4 and trying to get to the back bumper of Michael Provolt and try to take over. That 6th position and trying to march himself back up towards the front. Now Brent Merle, he was out front earlier in the race. Unfortunately for him, he slid backwards after about a 10-lap run. We know Devin Butchino is really good at saving his stuff. He was doing that early in the run, and now he finds himself way back, actually behind his teammate Eddie Morris. Oh, Butch might be trying to save something here for the end. So running down on that low side. Ooh, Michael Provolt hard into the outside wall. That's going to allow Devin Butchino to take a move to the inside of that 95. So now Neon Teammates up 6th and 7th. Again, trying to march themselves up to the front. David Wright trying to take a look down to the inside of Trey Spears, not able to do it. And now we've got a battle going on for second as Sharn Hill makes a move to the inside of Brian Merle Jr. Jr., though, able to hold off that 05's charge for now, as we are quickly approaching 30 laps to go. Take a look off the back bumper of Brian Merle Jr. Here comes the charge from Sharn Hill down into turn number 1. They battle door to door, side by side. I'm sorry, that was off of turn number 4. And this battle here for the second position continues to heat up as Sharn Hill forces Brian Merle Jr. up the track. He has to lift, and Sharn Hill is going to take over that second spot, but Brian Merle Jr. trying to fight back still on that high side, trying to lay the bumper to that 05. I don't think he was really appreciative of the way Sharn made that pass, as looks like he had issues here for Tim Likens, who is slow down on the backstretch. That brings out the caution, and let's see what happened to Tim Likens here. I don't know if he had a motor blow or something, or... Oh, he had some help from Sylvain Seguin here up off the corner. And the motor expires on that 14, so that brings out a caution here. I imagine we should probably see the entire field make their way down pit road. And now it looks like Brett Merle is the only one to come down pit road. Now Michael Provolt, Riley Gomes, Ryan Gomes come down pit road. So we are getting ready to have ourselves about a 25 lap shootout to the end. Sorry, I didn't realize I had my microphone muted right there. Sharn Hill came down pit road. I believe pit road was closed. And he's going to get himself a penalty here. So unfortunately, he's going to have a black flag that he's going to have to serve. So Brian Merle Jr. is going to come down to the starting zone, the restart zone here, with Trey Spears to his outside. He's going to have D. Wright and Eddie Morris behind him as the pace truck takes the hard right-hand turn. You see those tire marks that the pace truck's been leaving. His green flag is in the air. And Brian Merle Jr. with a great jump over David Wright down into turn number 1. Trey Spears is going to move up into second here as Eddie Morris going to follow right on through up on the high side, move him up into third. Dave Wright washes up the track a little bit, almost catches Brett Merle. We know Merle is on fresher tires than anybody else. So we'll see how that works out for him. Sharn Hill still coming down pit road. And he is down as the field is under green flag conditions. And Trey Spears now takes the lead as Eddie Morris almost gets into the back of Brian Merle Jr. He's going to lose a ton of spots here as David Wright goes around. They're 4 wide behind. Devin Bucciano trying to make his way back up towards the front as well as they come down through turns 1 and 2. Eddie Morris up on the high side working around Riley Gomes. Meanwhile, up front, Trey Spears continues to lead over Brett Merle. And Spears almost gets up in the wall. That allows Brett Merle down to the inside. And Merle's going to take the spot as Riley Gomes gets sideways off of turn number 4. He's able to save it. Meanwhile, Devin Bucciano driving like a man possessed right now up into the 5th position down underneath Dave Wright. He's trying to make a move underneath Brian Merle Jr. down into turn number 3. And Bucciano up into the 4th position as they come off of turn number 4 with just 20 laps to go. Bucciano now around Eddie Morris to take over the 3rd spot. He's going to set his sights on Trey Spears as Brett Merle is just running away. With Trey Spears back in 2nd and Devin Bucciano hard charging to the back bumper of the 3, coming to 18 laps to go. Caution is in the air. Big pile up in the back. Zachary Cox involved. Riley Gomes caught up in this one as well. I saw, looked like Kevin Graham got a piece of it as well. That is going to bring up our wreckage rewind. That looked like a pretty big one involving quite a few cars right there. See Riley Gomes down on the inside of David Wright as they come off of turn number 4. Looks like Gomes kind of came up a little bit into the 84. They make contact. Dave Wright almost rides the wall up and over as Riley Gomes gets spun around. Ryan Gomes comes up in, gets a piece of it as well as they were coming down the track. Dave Wright able to escape mostly unscathed, but here comes Michael Provolt and Zachary Cox just nowheres to go. And Kevin Graham catches the inside wall pretty hard. Matt Allen able to get by this one as well. Let's see if we can see another angle of this one. So what is the field going to do this time? Who's going to come down pit road? Who's going to stay out? So Devin Bucciano, Brett Merle, Eddie Morris, Ryan Gomes are all on the same length old tires. Sorry, Joseph Wright and Ryan Gomes, yeah, are all on the same length tires. See Matt Allen coming down pit road. I think he's just trying to get a little bit of damage fixed from earlier on that machine. So lights are off on the pace truck. We're going to re-rack them, restack them, refire them. Brett Merle going to choose the high side. Trey Spears down on the low side. Row 2 be Devin Bucciano and Joseph Wright, with Ryan Gomes and Sylvain Seguin down up in row number 3. Row 4 will be Riley Gomes and Eddie Morris. And then Dave Wright and Brian Merle Jr. back in row number 5. It looks like Sharn Hill. Not sure what happened to Hill. He is still sitting down on pit road. I don't know if he had a bunch of damage or something happened to that machine, but he is still down there on pit road. Green flag is in the air. Brett Merle with another great jump over Trey Spears. And we're about to make it 3 wide. I thought we were going to go 3 wide down into turn number 1. As Trey Spears and Joseph Wright do battle for a second position. And now Joe Wright and Devin Bucciano make their way around the 3 as we are coming to 13 laps to go. Side-by-side battle for second place as Joseph Wright works down to the inside of Devin Bucciano up on the high side. And them running side-by-side is exactly, big wiggle out of both drivers, and Devin Bucciano moves up into the second position. I've got confirmation that Sharn had a mechanical issue. He had issues with his wheel. So that is why he is off the track and out. Saw one truck bouncing off the wall back here. That was the 3 of Trey Spears as Brian Merle Jr. makes his way around the 3. That 3 just does not look like it's in very good shape right now. Here's Eddie Morris up into the 4th position, trying to make a move around Joe Wright, and here comes Bucciano to the inside to take over the lead, but here comes Merle fighting back hard on the high side. He's going to maintain that lead for now as they come back into turns 3 and 4. The caution is out again, and it looks like it is for Dave Wright and Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, both looping it around on the backstretch. This is our 5th caution of the night. Well, as they come off of turn number 2, we see Trey Spears up high, catches that outside safer barrier. At the same time, Cheeseburger kind of saw that. Might have spooked him a little bit. They both get loose there off of turn number 2, and Dave Wright drives down to the bottom. I don't know if he was forced down there or what. Then Spears gets into the back of the 47. Just barely catches Dave Wright. They both go spinning down to the inside. I want to see what happened to D Wright here, if he got contact in this one or not. No, it looks like he just bounced off the wall himself and then just wrong place at the wrong time. Able to keep it off the wall, though, so. Although this is definitely not what Brett Merle wanted to see. So we're going to have ourselves a bit of a shootout here. When we come to the green flag, it is going to be 5 laps to go. Does Devin Butchino have anything for Brett Merle? Does Eddie Morris have anything left in the tank here as well? Could we see Joe Wright sneak one out here at the end and get the win? He won last week in the Cup Series at Watkins Glen. See if he's able to sneak another victory out here tonight. Or could we see another dark horse? Maybe Brian Merle Jr. sneaking up here through here as well. Lights on the pace truck are off. Brett Merle up on the high side. Devin Butchino down on the low side. Eddie Morris and Joseph Wright back in row number 2. Ryan Gomes, Brian Merle Jr. back in row number 3. Riley Gomes, Sylvain Seguin back in row 4. Matt Allen and D. Wright back in row number 5. Who's going to have it here at the end? Green flags back in the air. 5 laps to go. Great jump for Brett Merle down into turn number 1. Eddie Morris able to get around Joe Wright up into the 3rd position. As they rocket down the backstretch. Oh, big wreck on the backstretch. Caution in the air. That is David Wright. As they were coming down the backstretch, we just saw the smoke in the wreck there on the backstretch. Not really sure who that was, but man, somebody hit the inside wall a ton. Treacherous turn 2. Sylvain Seguin up into the outside safer barrier. Has to check up, gets tagged by Dave Wright. Almost climbs the wall. Comes down the track into Dave Wright again, and there's Matt. Matt Allen's the one that caught that wall incredibly hard. Him and Dave Wright nose into that inside wall. We saw the speed that happened there. Well, Dave Wright's on pit road. That's going to set ourselves up a green-white checker. Wave around truck, that is Kevin Graham. So Kevin Graham's going to be back on the lead lap. So as the field makes their way to the start-finish line, the lights on the pace truck should be shutting off this time by. Oh, sorry, next time by. The field's making their way down into turn number 1. So here we go. Lights on the pace truck will be shutting off this time by. Again, Brett Merle going to choose the high lane. Devin Butchino down on the inside. Eddie Morris to the inside of row 2 with Joseph Wright to his outside. Row 3, we will see Brian Merle Jr. to the inside of Ryan Gomes, and Riley Gomes to the inside of Trey Spears. Running out our top 5 on this restart will be Michael Provo and Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. Of course, this is the Cheeseburger Motorsports, the Ham 125 here at The Rock. We're going to get ready for our restart here. And our first attempt at a green-white checker. Down into the restart zone. Green flag is in the air. Ooh, tire spin for Devin Butchino. Checks up the entire inside line. That gives Joseph Wright the advantage up on the high side. Here comes Eddie Morris looking up to the high side of Devin Butchino down into turn number 3. Morris going to take over that final podium position as Brett Merle comes off of turn number 4. Will we see the white flag? Yes, we will. White flag is in the air. Checker flag will be the next flag thrown as they make their way down into turn number 1. Brett Merle out in front. Here comes Eddie Morris with the run. Gives a shot to Joe Wright down in the backstretch. Into turn number 3 they come. Brett Merle trying to do everything he can to hold off as they come off of turn number 4. Brett Merle is going to get the win. Joseph Wright comes home second. Eddie Morris in third. Devin Butchino fourth. And then Brian Merle Jr. back in 5th. What a finish here as Brett Merle gets the win in an exciting green-white checker finish here at Rockingham. as our top three make their way down to the start-finish line for the ceremonial top three picture. And Brett Merle is going to celebrate his win right here on the start-finish line. Even though he's a part-time driver, it's not going to affect our points in any way, shape, or form, fortunately. As he's going to park it down here in victory lane. And we'll take a look at our final results. He's going to burn it down in victory lane. Brett Merle gets the win. Joseph Wright in second. Eddie Morris third. Devin Butchino back in fourth. And Brian Merle Jr. back in fifth. Trey Spears bringing it home in sixth. Ryan Gomes back in seventh. Riley Gomes eighth. Cheeseburger Lawrence ninth. And then Zachary Cox back in 10th. Michael Provo 11th. Kevin Graham 12th. Sylvain Seguin back in 13th. Tim Likens 14th. Matt Allen back in 15th. Dave Wright 16th. Ryan Likens 17th. And Sharn Hill brings it home in the 18th position. Chuck Balance 19th. And then David Hartney round out the field here tonight in the Ham 125, sponsored by Cheeseburger Motorsports here at the Rock, Rockingham Motor Speedway. Let's get a word with our top three, starting with our third place finisher, Eddie Morris. Eddie, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
What's up, brother?
Man, great run for you here tonight. I saw you were pushing your teammate there to the win. Talk us through that green-white checker, because that looked like an exciting finish for sure.
It was something. I just wish I was able to got one of those restarts on the outside. I think I'd have had a better chance at it. But once I knew Brett was going to have the dub ski, congrats to him. I figured Joe needed the point better than I did at the point, or at the time, and wasn't no real big sense of trying to pass him and messing us both up if that was the case, because the track was just so bumpy and stuff. So pretty proud of the Neon guys. We got 2, 3. Devin finished fourth, right?
Yes, he did.
Fourth, yeah. 2, 3, 4. I'm not sure where D Wright finished. He had some trouble tonight. But yeah, man, pretty solid run for the Neon boys. Felt like I had a really good truck. I'm just kind of victim of circumstance there. Wish I'd have went in when Brett did. So he was the one that made the call right there, and I'm ultimately got him out in front, and definitely was the call. So shout out to them for that. Yeah, man, it was crazy.
Well, on an off note of the race, it is throwback week, and I'm guessing I'm trying to figure this paint job out. That is the junior amp paint job on that truck. Am I right?
Yeah, you are correct. Bacino come to me, man, I think maybe at the first of the season, whenever we first started talking about, throwbacks and this and that. And he sent me a picture. Because that dude, I always forget to, or like, I just can't come up with nothing really to do for a throwback, and because Junior really never had anything but the old Budweiser car. It was always red, he had a couple one-offs, but man, when you've been doing this 7 seasons, you can't keep going back to that well, so he sent me a picture of the amp and the National Guard cars. He said, man, we should do this for the truck series. And I was like, all right, cool, I'll do it, man, because I don't have to worry about what I'm going to do for the trucks for a throwback, So we rode those tonight, and so shout out to him. He had Morris Customs on the hood. I had Dev Sports Card on mine, kind of like they did in that year. When Mountain Dew was on the hood, the National Guard was on the trunk deck, and vice versa. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
So I did call the paint jobs right, which makes me feel pretty proud of myself.
Hey, good job, buddy.
But having the switched sponsors there on the hood really threw me for a loop. But Man, it was a great race for you overall. Bunch of cautions there at the end. Looked like just a product of circumstance. Sharn Hill had some issues with his wheel, I heard, but man, the racing out there looked really good. I'm excited for the racing tomorrow night. Does any of this translate into tomorrow night for you?
um, we'll still be turning left. Um, so, I don't know, man. I'm hoping because tonight we had a really fast truck. And I kind of tend to focus more on the next gen side, just because it's more changes that you can do to kind of tailor to make it feel right to the way that your driving style is and stuff. So I really like learning that car. I really like driving that car at most places. But yeah, man, hopefully it does translate. Hopefully we can come through tomorrow with a top three at least, if not win the bad boy.
Well, next week we move on to New Hampshire Motor Speedway, my home track. How you like your chances at the flat track up there in New Hampshire?
We run pretty good at New Hampshire. So I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be fun. I'll wave at you, Josh, when we pass through. Um, and
It's
we'll make
funny
sure
you
Tony
say
Stewart
that.
don't run you over.
It's funny you say that because when the trucks, the haulers come through, I can walk down the street and watch them go down the Mass Pike right by my house. So
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
it's pretty cool. So I think I might actually do that with the daughter this year. Walk down there
You should,
and
man.
stand by the highway and watch the trucks go by.
You should. She'll enjoy that. It'd be
I think
great.
so. Well, Eddie, before I let you go, anyone you want to thank? Any shots you got to give here tonight?
Of course, man. Shout out to Brett. Yeah, shout out to Brett Merle for winning tonight. No, he's super proud for that. So congrats to him. Shout out to Joe for a P2 tonight. He's not quite locked in yet, so every point helps. Of course, we got a shout out to Intensity Apparel at what intensityracing.com.
That is
Is that what it is?
correct.
See, boy, I'm getting better at this.
You
What do you know?
are
We're only halfway through the regular season, and we're getting her down, son.
halfway through.
But
We're almost
yeah,
to the end of the regular season. You got two more
hey, hey,
races.
hey, come on now, come on now. And and shout out, man. Go over and check them out. Go check out some your boy Atlee Atman Weese's merchandise over there, and a bunch of other great stuff to pick from. So go check them out at Intensity Racing and Intensity Apparel. So shout out to them for sponsoring the truck series here. Of course, got a shout out to Dev Sports Cards. Father's Day, Mother's Day. I mean, Christmas is coming up. Christmas is always coming up, it seems. But go check them out at eBay at Dev Sports Cards, and go pick up your loved ones some awesome sports memorabilia. I'm sure he'll have you covered over there on eBay at Dev Sports Cards. Gonna shout out to Mama Bettino tonight. Got to get that in. It's her birthday, I think tonight. Today, I think I seen. So if it is, awesome. Happy birthday, Mama Bettino. Hopefully you're doing great. So shout out to her. If it's not today, then happy birthday anyway. Celebrate. Shout out to Morris Customs for of course these throwback paints. And my paints every week. Shout out to my teammates. Joe, congrats on his second. Pacino, Hartney had to go out tonight. I think his brake pedal was giving him a little trouble. We'll get that figured out. See if we hopefully can get him back in there. Shout out to D Wright and everybody that allows me to do this every week. And of course, we can't forget tonight's race sponsor, Cheeseburger Motorsports, for the what was it, the Ham 125 we had here?
That is correct.
Yeah, bro. Like, surely can't forget that guy. So we appreciate him sponsoring the race, and he's got tomorrow night's race too. So check us out over there for I think it's the Ham 160. So that's going to be great. So again, shout out to him.
Awesome.
And
Man.
yeah, bud. Appreciate you, Joshy.
Sounds like you had more
I'm
going.
gonna keep
so
going.
I
I'm gonna keep going. No, I'm just kidding. I just want to thank you,
The
Josh.
floor is yours, as Guy would say.
See, that's what it was, man. You never told me the floor was mine. You're slacking. But no, we appreciate you, Josh. Thank you for everything you do, man. And it's awesome to really go back and watch these things over again. So appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the podium here tonight, the stage win, and good points tonight for you. And hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Yes, sir.
Have a great night.
You too, brother.
That was your winner here, or sorry, third place finisher here tonight, Eddie Morris. Let's bring in your second place finisher, Joseph Wright. Joe, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
I got you, man.
Man, what a run for you here. A bit of a wild night for you. You seem to be up in the mix most of the night and had all the action right around you and your brother all night long. Talk us through the race. I know you had one incident earlier in the race. It looked like it was going to hurt you pretty well, but ended up rebounding here for a second place finish.
Yeah, it was an up and down night, right? Like climbed to the top early in that race. Didn't get much practice in. Had some scholarly duties to take care of. Got comfortable finally in race trim, and that long run we had in the middle there, I wore my stuff out. The Gomez boys were a lot faster on the long runs, as well as Junior there. So when we got tires, or were able to get tires, I started to try to save, and then I got ran over by Chucky trying to save some tire there. And then kind of just followed my way to the front. Devin and I chose to go late and hit pit road, get some fresh tires, and that gave us that advantage to get back up front there toward the end of the race. So shout out to Dev on that last second call to hit pit road there.
Yeah, it looked like the right call there at the end. Those cautions, though, didn't seem to really help you out there at the end. Was that kind of a helpful thing for you guys? Did that hurt you guys in the end there?
It was probably good for me because Eddie was on fresher tires. He probably would have beat me and Brett. And yeah, so I would say it's probably good for me in that sense. If that goes green, Eddie probably wins that thing because he was on a rail.
For sure. Well, it seemed like a lot of comers and goers here tonight. Fortunately for you, you were one of the comers up to the front and getting yourself up on the podium. Next week, we move over to New Hampshire. How you like your chances at the flat track up here, my home track?
I'm a small track or short track kind of guy at times. I prefer my super speedways, obviously, but I can get around some short tracks. New Hampshire is one of my better tracks when it comes to short track racing, so I look forward to it.
Awesome, man. Well, again, before I let you go, anyone want to thank? Any shout outs you want to give here tonight?
Yeah, man, shout out to you for doing this every week, Josh. I know it's not fun and you'd rather be out here with us, but thanks for doing it every week. Shout out to Team Neon as we keep killing it every week. We're in the top 3, at least one of us, so it's great to see this team kicking butt again this season.
Yeah, Neon was in a Merle sandwich tonight. You had Brett getting the win, you, Eddie, Devin, and then Brian coming home 5th. So awesome job for Team Neon yet again. And Joe, good luck tomorrow night. Can't wait to race this track with you. And
I won't be here. I'm headed down to Talladega, so
that's right. You're going down
see you
to
next week
Daga.
in New Hampshire. Yep.
Well, then we will see you at New Hampshire in 2 weeks, and hopefully.
If anyone's watching and you're going to be in New Hampshire, in Talladega this week, let me know. Hit me up on Discord or get with Josh. Tell him what's up.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the runner-up position, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Later, buddy.
I'm going to go mute for myself for just a moment. All right, now we're going to bring in our winner, Brett Merle, your winner, and we're going to bring in our race sponsor, Cheeseburger, here as well. And Brett, congratulations on the win. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Man, what a run, man. You were up front all night, had the first run, looked like you burned your stuff off immediately, kind of fell back, came down pit road, pit at the right time, used the strategy. I thought it was the wrong strategy to begin with, but it ended up working out in your favor, catching the cautions right and getting yourself up front. Those closing laps, though, with those green-white checkers and those boys behind you, did that concern you at all coming to those green-white checker?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the first round of the race, I knew right then and there I was probably the 4th fastest car. The top 3, Eddie, Sharn, and Devin, they on speed were without a doubt the fastest out of anybody. And I don't save tires that well, so I was probably on a long run. I was probably a 7th place car. And then after the end of that stage, I ran really good in stage with Sharn. I decided to burn my stuff up just to see how many laps I could get out of it. So I kind of did that on purpose, and it was kind of scary. Got a caution at the right time, and then yeah, from there it was just try to find that balance between save and when to pit and when to go fast. And I thought it was the right strategy, and then I thought it was the wrong strategy because we kept getting caution after caution after caution. And like you said, those guys, the faster cars with the better tires, were behind me there on that green white checkered. It was definitely not where I wanted to be. I'm just glad it worked out. Yeah, for sure. It's we wanted to just run a couple of races, and super speedways and short tracks are definitely my forte and what I'm good at. And I think I had the stage win there at Daytona, and I think I finished second or third or something. I had a good finish there. And Richmond, unfortunately, was not kind to me, which is my favorite track. And this is my third start of the season, and it's sweet to come out here and get a win.
Oh yeah, no, it was fun rolling through the pack. I screwed up qualifying really bad and rolled all the way up to fifth. Of course, a race I don't get any points, and I get fifth in a stage. I was excited on that. Um, I thought I had something there, and then like Brett in the second stage, I won the final stage, burned up the tires really quick. Although unlike him, I didn't do it on purpose. Pitted, and then the caution came out, and I'm like, gosh, I really thought it was gonna go green there for a while, and yeah, just bad luck. I was going against the grain because like them, I'm part time, so but it was totally
Josh
fun.
is muted.
I didn't realize I was muted that whole time I was talking to you boys, and congratulating Brett on his victory here tonight, and congratulating Cheesy on his run here tonight, and thanking him for sponsoring the series here. And I was mentioning to Brett how the green white checkers played out there. He was kind of nervous with those boys behind him, but man, again, great run for you boys here tonight. Both of you part timers having some great runs, having some fun out there. Talk about the track though. I know both of you are running here tomorrow night. How much did you learn tonight that can translate to tomorrow night? We'll start with Brett.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird to complain about something when the day ends as well as it did. But I was actually fighting a wheel issue. I got a new Fantech setup this season. Upgrading from the G920. It's been huge for me. I think that's where a lot of my speed has come from. It's just getting better equipment. But I've always noticed it was kind of off center a little bit. And tonight I could really feel that my centering's about 10 degrees off, and it's almost notchy. So I didn't know if I was fighting bumps harder than anybody else was, or if we're all fighting the same bumps. But I'm definitely going to get this wheel fixed before tomorrow, and that's, I think, what I learned more than anything is to fix the dang wheel.
How about you, Cheesy? What did you learn here tonight?
I learned vehicles don't go very quickly when all four tires are off the ground. That's what it feels like out there. You're going through the corner and it feels like a supercross track. You're just going up and down, up and down, up and down. I mean, it's wild.
Well,
So I'd say we are both hitting the same bumps then. So it's not just my notchy wheel. It's just the bump.
Yeah, and I got the G29, so yeah, pretty much the same thing. Well, that you had before.
Well, Cheesy, again, we want to thank you for the sponsorship tonight. Awesome job with the finish. We appreciate you coming on for the Ham 125. Looking forward to the Ham 165 tomorrow night. And Brett, congratulations on the win. Before I let you go, Brett, anyone you want to thank? Any shots you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, we got to start with the best trophy girl in the business and our sponsor here, Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. I appreciate him joining us for this interview. And then, of course, all the broadcast team and all the admins. I want to give a shout out to Eddie. This was probably his race. And Sharn, I mean, he was also very fast and had some mechanical failure. So shout out to both of those guys. And, thanks for letting me get a win, I guess.
Awesome, man. Well, again, good luck tomorrow night, both of you. Look forward to seeing you. Again, congratulations on the win, and hopefully we'll talk to you guys again soon.
Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun one tomorrow.
Have a great night.
You too.
So that was your winner and race sponsor here tonight in the Ham 125 from Rockingham here on Intensity Broadcasting. Again, we want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or over on Kick. We do appreciate you tuning in here tonight. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Next week, we're going to have a great set of races as well. The Doghouse Racing League will be taking on Talladega Super Speedway. And then next week, we'll have the SCSRA Intensity Truck Series here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. So for us here at Intensity Broadcasting, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Don't forget that like button, follow, and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so you know anytime we go live here on Intensity Broadcasting. Don't forget to check out our great partners, including Race EPI for all your iRacing coaching and setup needs, IntensityRacing.com if you're looking for apparel, or any of Atlee Atman Weiss's racing gear. You can check that all out over at IntensityRacing.com. And of course, our great partner over at the Butt Kicker for all your gaming haptic needs. Check out thebuttkicker.com. That's going to do it for us here tonight. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. And as our boy Atlee Atman Weiss would say, over and out.